A vector is a mathematical object that has a magnitude and a direction. A vector can also be defined as just points on a graph. Vectors are broken down into parts. These are called components. Components can be the different points like on the x and y axis, different angles, and side lengths. These all help us find the magnitude. There is a plane that is 60 meters at an angle of negative 50 degrees, and we have to determine the axial components graphically and algebraically. So I decided to use the scale of negative centimeters equal 10 meters. So we already have C, which is 60 meters, and we turn that into centimeters, which is 6 centimeters, and we know that we know that C is going to be at an angle of negative 50. So then after we have graphed that, we will just connect Cx to Cy from C. Then now graphically, we would just have to measure Cx and Cy with a ruler. But algebraically, we would have to use SOHCAHTOA, which is sine, cosine, and tangent. And to find Cy, we would have to use sine. And to find Cx, we would have to use cosine. We also have to make sure that Cx and Cy are at a 90-degree angle. The first way I want to show you guys is adding vectors with known components. We would just add the same components with each other. For example, if we're adding A and B, we would have to add A's hypothesis with B's hypothesis. We would have to add A's adjacent with B's adjacent, and then we would have to add A's opposite with B's opposite, just like the example I have on the screen. That A equals 5, 9, negative 10, and B equals 17, negative 3, and negative 2. And when we do A plus B, we would just add 5 with 17, 9 with negative 3, and negative 10 with negative 2. And we would get our answer. So for the second option, I would like to show you guys when adding just two angles together. So our equation today is A plus B, and we want to find R. So A would be at a 60-degree angle, so we would graph that. And then from where A ended, we would graph B, and B would be negative 45, and we would graph that. Then from where B ended to where A has started, we would just connect those 2 points. And that would be our R, which is R equal A plus B. And then we would want to find how long our R is, and we would just measure it with our ruler. But to find the direction of R, we would have to measure it with a protractor. And what I got was 25 degrees, and it was a positive because it is going up and going to the right. So for the third option, I would like to show you guys when adding two components together to figure out the third component. So it's just simple addition. So for example, if we have a component that's 5 and another one that's 5, the results would be 10. But if we have another component that's 5 and then the other component is 10, we would get 15, and so on. So it's just simple addition. So today I will be deciding on using swimming as my in-life example. So in swimming, swimmers always have to be careful on their angles of their arms while they're pulling through the water, because with the smaller of the angle while pulling the water, more drift you'll have during your race, and that would cause you to lose the race.